One of the biggest problems a lot of KDP low content and medium content book publishers on Amazon have is coming up with good niche ideas. So in this video, I'm going to give you my top 7 KDP niches for 2023 that are centered around events that take place throughout the year. So you'll have a whole list of ideas that can last you for the whole year. And I'm also going to show you, using a free plugin, how I check whether books are going to sell months in advance. So it will save you running down those blind alleys and give you more chance of making money online and growing your publishing business. Now, if you've not been to the channel before, then welcome. My name is Paul Marles and I do videos on how to make it, keep it and grow it. And that's your money I'm talking about. And if you do like videos like that, then please do give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and smash that notification bell. Okay, so let's jump straight into this. And during the video, as we go through the niches, I'll show you my processes for evaluating and finding the niches. So I'll give you the event, which is the main niche, and I'll tell you what books or sub-niches sell well during those particular events. So first of all, the best place to start is with a list of events that take place throughout the year. And here we've got this list, which you can find at childhood101.com. And this is a printable list of all the holidays, celebrations, and events that take place throughout the year. Now, although there are a lot of good ideas here, these don't all apply to books. A lot of them are great for print-on-demand products like t-shirts, posters, and mugs, but they don't transfer through to books, and as a result don't sell particularly well. The market is just too small for them. So let's look at those events that do. So first of all, we've got Valentine's Day. Now, at the time of publishing this video, Valentine's Day is only a couple of weeks away. So if you were just to publish some books and hope to get them ranked organically and make sales, then that's going to be pretty difficult and probably not possible. However, if you are thinking about running ads or already have experience in running ads, then it may be that you could create books now, run ads, get some sales and get some traction with your books. However, consider Valentine's Day for next year, because the best time to create these books would be around the middle of Q4 this year. Now, Q4 runs from the beginning of October to the end of December. So if you produce books, say around the beginning of November, that will give you enough time to get your books into Amazon. And it's the same for a lot of these niches. You want to be looking at creating and publishing your books 3 to 4 months prior to the event. It allows your book to get into Amazon, get your keywords indexed, allows Amazon to associate certain keywords and search terms with your books, and it also gives you a better chance of your book making some early sales, so you get a sales history and hopefully, or maybe 1 or 2 reviews, again, which will help your organic ranking when that particular event comes around and can really help boost your sales. Now, Valentine's Day lined journals or notebooks with funny quotes on the front used to sell very well, but unfortunately they are quite competitive, and it's going to probably be very difficult nowadays to get your books ranked on the first page unless you are running an ad campaign. But there are some good other options available, and these are mainly aimed at kids, and these are things like puzzle books, activity books and colouring books. So let's take a look at those. So here I've just done a search for Valentine's Day activity book, has got 5,000 search results, which is quite a lot. So within this overall activity book niche, you'd probably want to consider niching down into more specific types of activity or puzzle books. We can see here we've got these activity books. They've got low bestsellers ranks already. This one here is at 6,500. This one 2,197, and this is a cut and paste book, which is a very interesting niche. I have actually done a video on the overall cut and paste niche in the past. Now, a lot of niches that I do discuss in my videos, I have done videos on these in the past, and many people ask me in the comments about these particular niches. what I suggest doing is going to my channel, going to the search bar within the channel and just putting in something like cut and paste, and you'll often find videos that I've done on these in the past. Okay, let's have a look at some more of these. So we've got things like cut and paste, which looks very interesting. We've got this one here with a very low bestsellers rank, 1166, which is a dot marker activity book. Now, if you want an idea of how many books a particular book sells, then what you can do is take the bestsellers rank, go over to tckpublishing.com and just put the bestsellers rank in the box. Make sure you choose book and not ebook and just hit on calculate sales. So you can see that this book is selling around 1,971 per month. So as you can see, this book would be selling very well and each book would be making a profit of around $1.90. So that's a significant amount of money. Now, as we can see, because this niche is almost here, we can get a good idea of how many books are selling. But what happens if the niche is 3 or 4 months away, or the event is even later on in the year? Well, when we come to this next niche, I'll show you how to use a free tool to get an idea of how many books are selling. So the niche we're going to be looking at next is the Easter niche. And the books that sell very well in this niche are aimed at kids, and again are those puzzle books, activity books and colouring books. So let's have a look at Easter activity books. As we scroll down, we've got another cut and paste book here. It's a sponsored ad. And we've got a dot marker book here, a general activity book. And the bestsellers ranks are not particularly low, but it does appear that sales are already starting to trickle in. So how do we tell whether a book in a particular niche is going to sell well around the time of the event? Well, let's take this dot marker activity book here. Now, I do have a free plugin installed, which is from Helium 10, and this is on the Chrome browser. So you can go along to Helium 10, just do a Google search for Helium 10 plugin, and you can download this and install it into your browser. And what that does is it gives us these boxes here, which gives us some additional information about the book. But importantly, this little icon here, which is a graph, we can see that it'll give us the price of the book and also its bestsellers rank. Now, the lower the bestsellers rank, the better. It means the book is selling more. So we can click on all time, and what we can see here where the bestsellers rank drops, and that drops around the time of Easter. After Easter, it then rises again, and then last year it dropped again, and the bestsellers rank was slightly lower that time, below 1,000. So that's a very useful tool to use to look ahead and see if there is a pattern to the sales of books in a particular niche. Now, you want to pick books that are older than a year. So at least a year old, preferably 2 or 3 years old, so you do get that sales history. Okay, so next up is Mother's Day. Now, in this niche, there are a variety of different books that sell well. And one of these are prompt journals, and these come in the form of a guided journal. Now, these are books that have prompts, guided prompts that allow mums and mothers to write down answers to the prompts and create a book with a lot of content. And I'll show you an example of what an interior looks like. We can see we've got all these different prompts, questions, and once the book is completed, filled in, and this could be something that could be filled in, say, over a year, you do have something that's very valuable, very personal, and these books are very popular, sell well all year round, but around the time of Mother's Day, the sales really do take off. Other types of books that sell well around Mother's Day are planners and diaries, colouring books. Again, these sell well all year round. And also, here's an interesting one which I came across whilst doing research for this video, and these are Draw with Mom books. It's not something I'd come across before. So, although these are Draw with Mom, you might want to create something unique, try and expand on this idea. Things like Sketch with Mom, Doodles with Mom, that type of thing. Next up, at number 4, we have the back to school niche, which is huge. And books here can be targeted at kids, adults, teachers, those at university and college, and those that are doing homeschooling. And I've broadly categorized these into 3 types. One are those exercise books, books that are used at school, at college. And these are things like the Cornell paper books, graph paper notebooks. And if we scroll down and have a look at some graph paper books and click on the graph, click on 1 year. And as we can see, sales remain pretty decent throughout the year, but really start to increase around that August to September time. And then the bestsellers rank rises. Not many books or less books are being sold around the Christmas time, but then the bestsellers rank starts to drop for that back to school around beginning of January time. So with this particular niche, the back to school niche, you'll find that there are 2 peaks of sales. One, August to September, and the other around January time. Then there are those books, the kids' educational books, and those are things like number tracing books and handwriting books. Again, these sell well during those back to school periods, but also sell phenomenally well throughout the year. So they're worth looking into also. Next up, we've got Halloween. These are mainly centered around kids, or the books that sell well are usually centered around kids. And these are the activity books, again, puzzle books and colouring books. But there's one interesting one I want to show you here, which are stencil books. And these are stencils within a book that you can use to create things like pumpkin carving. If we have a look at the graph, look at 1 year, we can see this big drop in the bestsellers rank, and it goes all the way down to around 380 or less, 320. So the sales of these are huge. Now, what does the interior of one of these books look like? Well, basically on a page, you have this simple stencil design. And what you do is cut out the page, put it on the pumpkin and carve out your design. Now, where could you get these stencils from? Well, you can get them from a site like Creative Fabrica, which is where I tend to get most of my fonts and images from. They also sell interiors for lots of different types of KDP books as well. But I just did a simple search for Halloween stencils and it came up with all these different designs, some of which you could use inside a book. Now, we'll leave a link to Creative Fabrica again down below in the description. Now, the next niche is Thanksgiving. And again, this niche is particularly aimed at kids. And we've got the same types of books that would be popular in something like Halloween. We've got the activity books, puzzle books, and colouring books. Here is an example, just put in Thanksgiving activity books, and we can see we've got all these different types of books, all different types of puzzle books. Last year, again, I did a video on Thanksgiving, and I actually looked at the word search niche, which very straightforward to create, very popular, and sell very well during this time. And last on our list, we've got the big Christmas niche. And again, there are gifts here that would be aimed at both kids and adults. And so we've got things like puzzle books, colouring books, activity books. Now you could have those general types of puzzle books, activity books, etc. that sell all year round. And you could have those books which are particularly focused on Christmas. So they've got the Christmas design, the Christmas word search lists, the Christmas type images for the colouring book interiors. Also, other books that sell well around this time are those planners and diaries. And also, don't forget, Christmas, you've got New Year, you then got the beginning of the new year. What do a lot of people do around this time? Well, they set their New Year resolutions, they have new goals, aims for the rest of the year, and often these focus around the losing weight or get fit niche. Now, years ago, I published a lot of books, they're training logs, fitness logs, diaries, nutrition diaries, and I find around the Christmas time, these sell very well. They sell few throughout the year, but especially around that Christmas time. And I suspect it's for those people that are determined for the new year to go out, lose weight, get fit, make changes to their diet, make changes to their health. So that's an area to think about, and I think a very good niche to look into. So Christmas is probably one of those biggest ones where books, all types of books will sell well, but these particular books, as mentioned here, will sell extremely well. So for these 7 niches, you've got a whole load of different types of books that could occupy you for a whole year and potentially sell well during the year. So there's some things there for you to think about. Now, if you are new to this business and have not yet created your first book, then I suggest watching this video here on how to create a basic line journal for free. And this will get you started in this business, and then you can go on to create those more complex books. Thank you very much for your time. It is very much appreciated. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and until next time, goodbye.